Hello, everybody. We are those guys you hate.
Welcome to the show that encourages you to be your best self by not being like us.
My brother and I hopelessly search for nuance as we wade through wacky segments and crazy conversations.
If you can withstand the insanity, you might actually learn something.
Tyler, what are you going to be chatting about on this week's episode?
Ryan, what's worse than a colonoscopy? One where you're awake throughout it. And flying poop.
Are those two things related?
No.
Okay.
No.
I will be awake for that.
What about you, Ryan?
On this week's show, Tyler and I discuss morality once again, and we figure out when does helping go too far. And I have a scientifically proven way for you to better your life, and you are gonna hate it. On this week's show. Tyler, can you think of something that you would consider a good thing that society has deemed bad? So maybe something that is a virtue that has somehow gotten some sort of a metamorphosis just by the way people think about it that is now considered a bad thing.
You put me on the spot a little bit.
I am, and
do you have an
a-
example for me?
I have a couple of examples.
Okay.
And I'll go slowly so in case you think of anything.
Please.
Being humble.
Mm-hmm.
Being humbled. What do you think society's take on that is? Like, he was humbled.
Well, you do something embarrassing or you do something bad or something that is people disapprove of, and you go through the ringer, you face the consequences, and it brings you back down to earth, and you get a smaller head, so to speak.
Am I crazy when I think that people use being humbled as a pejorative? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because it can be used instead of being humbled, it's used more in like a put them in their place kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I would argue being humbled, if your mind is correct, is a beautiful thing. We should all be humbled. It would lead to a happier life. Of course, you want to respect yourself and you want to stand up for yourself, but being humbled, in my opinion, is a good thing that has been turned into a weapon.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's taken a left turn in what it means. It no longer means actually learning from the experience. It's shut the fuck up and just feel bad about what you did.
Stop pointing at me. You're triggering me, Tyler. And yes, people use it now as a way to say you lost.
Yeah.
You've been humbled.
Yeah, that's true.
And even deeper in that idea, failure. Failure is a thing that has become a scarlet letter when failure is a necessity to life. That's how we learn. How about being woke? What does it mean to be woke?
Well, that one was adopted as well. It used to be, stay woke used to be like be aware.
Be aware of what's happening underneath you. Don't be a blind sheep just
Correct.
following what the government and or higher ups tell you to do.
Yeah. And now it's been adopted by the other side, arguing on behalf of. Honestly, they use it. I don't even technically know what they mean by it. I don't know what the definition is.
It's definitely a slur. It is definitely a slur.
Yeah, but it's basically just like those guys are those people, But I don't really know what it means.
It's a way of branding someone a liberal loon. If you're woke, that means that you're delusional or you're a kook.
Yeah,
it's even got two of the letters of kook, so I can really see it. You know what I mean?
Well, that checks out.
He said the W word.
Yeah, that one is very strange for me because a lot of times when I hear somebody calling somebody else woke, it's about something that I happen to agree with. So it's like,
that explains a lot, Tyler.
Tim Walz, the new VP for Kamala, or is it Kamala? Is it?
You better get this right, because otherwise you're going to jail.
Mrs. Harris.
Madam President.
Tim Walz, he signed a bill in his state that said children don't have to pay for lunch at school anymore. And a lot of people called that woke, and I'm like,
communist.
Well, I fucking believe in that.
Yeah.
Like if that's woke, then I guess I am.
And obviously, you and I try to not get as political on the show as we can, but it's pretty obvious that we have liberal beliefs in a lot of ways. And I think woke is branded on anybody who cares about someone else. I don't mean to, the idea that you're not cutthroat and want to just take, that means that you're, whoa, look at this guy virtue signaling over here. Yeah. Okay, even what about something as personal as an introvert? Being an introvert, how does society see that when somebody's called an introvert?
Somebody's just quiet. A lot of times they're just branded as introverts. And maybe the guy's just listening.
He's shy. Yeah. He doesn't want to take control. He's weak.
Yep.
And truly, some of the greatest minds in our world's history have been introverts. Tesla, he was fucking all those pigeons. What's the?
He loved those pigeons like his children.
He loved those pigeons like his mistress.
He died a virgin, just loving his pigeons.
They were
emotionally loving his pigeons.
And I might fall on the wrong side of history here. Those are some hot fucking pigeons. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is, introvert, I believe now, it's not a pejorative in the same way as woke, but people are generally saying that to decrease from somebody's personality traits. Not very few times are somebody considered an introvert being a good thing, unless you're like a writer who goes to like a cabin or the Unabomber. Yeah. So there are so many things.
And why are we keep giving introverts the hardest of times here in society? How come nobody's calling out the extroverts?
Well, because we know introverts aren't going to do shit about it.
That's true.
Yeah. So,
but like to the extroverts out there, stop talking to me first thing in the morning. Please, just let me have my coffee. I want some silence in my life. To the people who get up out of bed and are immediately the person they already are throughout the rest of the day, you're a psychopath. You need a little charge up time, Ryan. Little me time to get the batteries flowing, you know?
Damn it. There's no way for me to explain on this mic how awkward what you just did is.
Why?
Because I see you every morning and I try to talk to you.
Yeah, but that one I wish you'd shut the fuck up. That one is we have to see each other.
Thanks a lot, society. Look what you're doing to us. You're tearing us apart.
This is where the introverts fight back.
So with all of that being said, and this is a very long cold open, but I have thought of one that has been changed around, that has been transmogrified into something that is toxic, and I find some resonance with it, and I want to take it back. I want to use this episode to take it back. I think I just had 3+ good examples of how this is run amok.
Okay. What are we taking back?
What is so friggin' bad about being a narcissist? All of a sudden, it's been branded this. I see you're making a face like I'm doing a thing. I'm not doing a thing.
No, I just strongly disagree with you.
Everybody's allowed to do everything that they want to do, and we support everybody. But the narcissist, you're a piece of shit. You're an asshole. And it's time that we take it back. And I'm willing to be the face for this movement. And every good movement needs like a saying. It needs, what I've learned from the Republicans is you got to like have buzzwords, you know, like Sleepy Joe. That one still resonates with me. What about this? Speaking of Republicans, what about make Unawarica great again? What do you think about that? And I'm just workshopping it. We're just spitballing here. What do you think of that?
I think it needs a little bit of tweaking before we
we're
can bring it to the
work on
masses.
it on this week's episode. Welcome to Those Guys You Hate, the most narcissistic show out there. Tyler.
Narcissism is a legitimate mental issue.
But can it be? Volcanoes can kill you. If we can harness that energy, we could use it to feed the poor, I assume.
Yeah.
I don't know. What if we use
it? But the narcissists aren't going to do it? They're thinking about themselves.
We're idea guy. Well, I shouldn't say we.
Yeah.
But what if it could be harnessed for good? We will get into that more on this week's show. Tyler, my brother, my pal, speak very little here so I could get back into it. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing very well.
All right, Tyler, great job. Another episode. Can you believe it? When you talk, it very much upsets me.
232, baby.
And we'll talk about 232. Isn't that crazy? Great job, Tyler. We put a lot of effort in, and we've really hung in there. And I love coming into this studio and doing this with you every week. So
agreed.
Let's get into the Depression Index. No one what the Depression Index is a machine that I built with my hands. I believe originally it was made completely out of dead bodies. Are we still doing that?
I believe so.
Okay, it is still made out of dead bodies, and we crank it up to let you know how down how did it become made of dead bodies? Do you remember the genesis of that?
No, I think that's just something that you just said, and now it's become a thing.
Weird.
So now we just have to keep replacing the bodies because, they deteriorate.
It smells like shit in here, but I appreciate sticking to a bit. Tyler, How has your mental health been on your final week of partying ever in your life? Never again. Never, ever, ever, ever will you see happiness again. So,
Wow, I think I've made a
suck
huge
on
mistake.
that, Tyler.
Huge mistake.
Oh, he's drinking.
I've been good. I've hit this like new stride in my mental health where I just listened to a book by one of our favorite authors, Michael Singer, who wrote The Untethered Soul.
Michael A.
A.
Singer, please. He
Excuse
didn't go
me.
to A school for whatever. You know how that goes.
Yeah. It's also hilarious. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, so I just had this, I read a book by him called The Surrender Experiment.
Sure, I've read it.
And I've really hit this stride of just, surrendering to however it is that I feel. So I'm not even thinking in terms of like, do I feel good or bad anymore? I just want to be appreciative for how I do feel regardless of how it is that I feel.
And being loving to even when you're not feeling the way
Yeah.
that you quote unquote want to. Yeah.
Agreed.
Surrendering to that.
Yeah, so it's been really positive for me. It's been a nice mental shift for me, and also going to Puerto Rico in a week.
Puerto Ricano, Michael A. Singer, and you're definitely not party there. Michael A. Singer, also the author of The Untethered Soul, which is a huge favorite of yours and mine.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
made our lives a little slightly less fucked up.
Yep.
there you go.
I would love to go to one of his weekend sessions. He's up in Gainesville, I believe.
What?
And yeah, he has a property out there, and it's totally free. You just go out there, and they lead a meditation session.
Dude, that would be life-changing for me, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a gigantic property out there.
There's
so
a few things I would love to do that. I would love to go find Joyce Meyer and rough her up. You know what I mean?
She'll probably fuck you up.
She's getting old, you know. That's awesome, Tyler.
Yeah.
All right.
So this week, I'm going to go ahead and say that I am at a 4.
Spin
1,
that
2,
wheel,
3, 4.
surrender. To the body parts, Tyler.
Yeah.
Fantastic job.
Has surrender become one of those like buzzwords? Oh, you have to surrender. I feel like when I say the word surrender, every collective pair of eyes has just rolled out of their skulls.
Not surrender yet. It's on its way.
Okay.
But let it go.
Yeah.
Or like what are the
No worries.
things of punch you in
You
the face.
you hate no
I
worries.
don't know why. It makes me worry more. It's counterintuitive.
All
really.
the worries.
I have all the worries, and now you're making me worry about that. Gay it up, Tyler. This week there is something that you specifically you are tired of hearing me talk about. Would you like to guess what that is? Let's go down the list.
Yoga.
What else you got?
Yoga?
Nope, something else. What else you got? Dig deep, Tyler.
I don't know. I don't know. What is it?
What we were looking for is breath work.
Oh, come on.
Breath work. I've talked a lot about it. And Tyler, as shameful as this is, that breath work that I've been doing, which is this, I found this YouTube. I went to a breath work class, and that was something that I studied in the yoga teacher training. And I stuck with the yoga, but I did not stick with the breath work. So I went to a breath work class, and I thought, this is something I need more of in my life. This just works for me. So I found a YouTube video, and dude, I'm telling you, this video has changed my life. It has. I don't know what it is, but doing this, of course, I weaponized it, and I've been doing it every day, sometimes twice a day. And I wondered, what is it that's happening here that is making me? Is this what is the thing where you're thinking of the effects and you make them happen? Is this?
You mean like bringing it to reality?
Like they
just
give you
by-
a fake pill, but you believe you're taking a real pill. Psilocybin,
No, that's
Regis Philbin,
getting closer.
semantics.
I don't know. I forget.
Salamander.
No.
It'll
Everybody
come
knows.
to us.
Everybody knows what we're talking about, though.
Sure, people
Yeah.
are just yelling it at
Placebo
their.
effect. It's
No,
the-
I don't
it's-
think. No,
It's the placebo effect.
I don't think that's it. So the thing is, yes.
Why do I help you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So the idea is this really helping me or am I crazy? So if you will give me just an extra moment, I actually have the science of it, Tyler. Does that interest you at all?
I know you're going to tell me no matter what,
yeah.
so I'll just say yes.
Otherwise, it's going to be a bad situation.
I'm super interested, Ryan. Please inform me.
So the way that this works is you are hyperventilating at first. You're taking in big giant breaths and then blowing them out. And this is happening almost like 30 to 40 times. So you're making yourself lightheaded. What is your thought on that? Just from the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of breath work myself too, so I know the positive effects of it. I know for a fact that before I'd ever tried it or gotten into this self-help stuff, I would have thought you were ridiculous.
Sure.
But
even if I presented you with science?
No. If you're presenting me with facts and like actual data, empirical data, then no, I would have to accept it.
But if this is out there and I'm telling people, not me, I mean, just people are invested in this kind of community and thought process, hey, this will change your life. Why do people not follow that science? And why is it labeled as kook?
Wow, I mean, you could say that about anything. Hey, we know that going to the gym will make you feel a lot better and extend your life.
I don't know.
Hey, we know that if you drink a lot more water and stop drinking soda, you'll be better.
Well, then why doesn't water taste as good as soda, Tyler? How about that? Answer that, smart guy.
I don't really have a rebuttal for that.
For Ryan. Yes.
Whatever you need, buddy.
All right, so when you're hyperventilating, what happens is there is a reduction in CO2 in your body, in carbon dioxide, which leads to a state known as hypocapnia. It makes your blood more alkaline, which can influence your bodily functions. So in other words, right from the very beginning, you're hyperventilating, it changes the chemicals being put into your blood, changes your blood, which then changes your organs, changes the way that your body works right from the very beginning. What's your thoughts on that?
Makes sense to me. Yeah.
Okay, then once you get through that hyperventilation phase, you completely exhale and you hold your breath. I think people are afraid of that. They think that if I do that, I will die.
Yeah,
is that true?
No, you won't die, but it is very likely that a lot of people see that and be like, man, I have to put myself in some deep discomfort for this. I don't want to do that.
Sure. And can't that be applied across your life?
Yes, of course.
Life is uncomfortable.
Yep.
Especially when you hang out at the places I do.
Only fleeting moments of happiness, just little sparks in your life. That's it.
If you're lucky. If you're lucky. That's not true. We're totally kidding. That was a trauma put on us as children.
Yeah. Just you. He never said that to me.
Oh, I said it to you, and I was kind of like a father figure. All right, then this breath hold leads to a temporary reduction in oxygen levels, which is called hypoxia.
Yeah.
Your body responds by increasing the production of red blood cells and improving oxygen delivery to tissues, which enhance endurance and physical performance over time. So by holding on your breath out, your body starts supercharging itself. It starts increasing the weight as if you were to take pieces of your car's engine out and replace it with better pieces. That is what is happening in the second step of this Wim Hof breathing. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, everything you're saying is science, and as I said, I have to agree with it if the data's there.
Isn't that crazy? But there are so many things. I'm focusing on this because truly, Tyler, it has changed my life in the way that my body has responded. This, I won't go through anymore, the autonomic nervous system regulation. What is your fight or flight? It starts slowing down your fight or flight. It starts helping you control that by being more aware of it. It gives you immune system modulation. It suggests that the method can increase the body's resilience to inflammation. It changes the way that your body works. There's scientific proof here. Chat GPT has never lied to me, Tyler.
Yeah.
Google AI, you're a sneaky little son of a bitch.
Little piece of shit,
You're a little
really.
piece of shit. I think you told me to eat rocks or something.
Yeah.
Why do people not accept some of these things?
I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people wouldn't be interested. A lot of people, the moment they hear about anything relating to breathwork or yoga or meditation or any of that stuff, as I said, roll their eyes and couldn't be bothered with it, no matter how much data you have.
Is society setting us up to feel that way?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm suggesting to everybody to go out there, try it. Be willing to be uncomfortable. That is the truth. Being able to relax into that panic in your mind when your mind's like, dude, if you don't breathe in right now, we're going to die.
Yeah.
The truth is, you're not going to die. You're learning to deal with that panic.
Well, you're eventually going to die.
Not me. Not me. That's not what Wim Hof said. I've seen him go up a mountain in a pair of jean shorts. He said, I'll live forever.
That's true.
As long as I keep breathing.
It's true. How come you're not bringing up the downsides of breath work?
What is the downside? I that time I shit my pants?
No. You know, you sound like you're having sex when you do it, and then when you do it in the middle of the living room first thing in the morning, you wake your brother up.
You're very rude. You're very.
Do you understand how
You're very rude with this morning thing. I let it go and you go back to the fucking morning thing, Tyler.
You know how bad it is to wake up thinking your brother's just raw dogging some bimbo in the middle of the living room?
Bimbo!
First thing in the morning.
She was a hussy. I will have you know. She was getting me Wim Hof. This week, I am at a 2, baby. 1, 2.
Good for you.
We've going super long. We'll take a break. We'll come back with a shortened segment, maybe. And we'll keep on going.
Hey, everyone. If you're anything like us, you've struggled with depression, anxiety, isolation, or any number of things that hold you back in life.
Or do you procrastinate a little too much? Maybe you've had trouble with self-control or even just going through a tough time. Regardless of whatever it is you're going through, therapy can help.
For me, Ryan, it's completely changed the way I deal with my problems. Even the relationship with my own thoughts have improved dramatically.
And that's why we're excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp.
BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is so important to us because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area.
BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you up to a professional therapist in as little as a few days.
It's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. Go to betterhelp.com/thoseguys or click on the link in the show's description. Clicking on that link not only supports us, but supports you.
And we want to support you too by giving you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp to connect with a therapist and see if it helps you.
Finding the right therapist is so important, someone that you really connect with, and BetterHelp has made that easier than ever. Switching therapists until you find the right one without having to worry about insurance or any additional fees.
You know, Tyler, when I first had my son, I felt so many emotions that I had never experienced in my life. Therapy really helped me figure out what was going on.
Well, that is betterhelp.com/thoseguys. Help the show by supporting the people that help us.
Those guys.
Okay, I think that somebody is breaking into my house and putting pubic hair into my bar of soap. True crime? Is that true crime?
Why would anyone do that?
I don't get it.
You hate.
I'm looking at these hairs and I'm like, I don't know these hairs. True crime. That's definitely true crime.
That is not true crime.
Whatever, you don't know what true crime is.
Those guys.
All right, red circle.
Tyler, do you go sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, shoe?
Sock, shoe, shoe.
Sock, shoe, shoe. Now, are you going left, right? Or are you going... Now, do you think more people go sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe?
No, the people, the few out there that do sock, shoe.
If you could say it a little bit faster, I would appreciate it.
Sock, shoe.
Oh, no, very good. Wow.
These are heathens that are living amongst us.
Why?
And they need...
You already got your foot up there.
They need to be ratted out. They need to be turned on by their communities. And we need to exile them to some island somewhere.
So how do you feel about shoe sock people? Shoe sock.
What are you talking about? That's what I'm talking about.
No, shoe sock.
You have dementia and you need help. You need to be put in a hospital.
You are so judgy for a mental health podcast. Write in. Tell us if you're a sock shoe or a sock shoe.
Yeah. But if you do sock shoe, don't even write in. We don't want to hear from you.
What if you do shoe sock? All right,
this
Tyler.
podcast is so stupid.
Enough ridiculousness because I now have shoe sock. I now have a story. This narcissistic episode. I have a story about me, okay? And I need a question. I didn't know what like bin to put this in. I didn't know what segment this particularly fell under. So I just chose one. I hope that it's right. And it comes down to me being laughed at. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. Talking morality with Tyler Menendez. Talking morality with Tyler Menendez. What will he say? What will he do? Even when he tells us, will we know that it is true? You know what? I've come around on that. It's pretty good. All right, Tyler. Today, this little story is something that happened to me today. It happened earlier, okay? And what I'm interested in is, when does helping go too far, okay? I go into a yoga class today, 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday. I'm starting my day off right. And my yoga teacher, who's been recommended to me by so many people, is a young, I'm guessing, mid-20s to early 30s, gay man. Mm-hmm. Probably Spanish, bleached hair. He's wearing one of those, almost like a Lawrence of Arabia thing, like almost like you take like a scarf and you roll it up into a cylinder and then use it as a headband. Okay. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he was incredible. The class was incredible. He controlled that motherfucker like crazy, all right? Mm-hmm. So we're going right from the very beginning. I am getting my ass kicked. So he sees that we're all hurting, and when you see that the class is gassed, you give him child's pose. What is child's pose, Tyler?
Child's pose is when you get down on your knees and then you sit back on your heels,
like your butt's on your feet.
Your butt's on your feet, and then you put your head to the floor. So you're like scrunched up, basically.
Yeah. So you're almost like a frog.
Yeah.
But your forehead is on the ground. Now that is a resting pose, but you really are supposed to be reaching. Your tailbone is supposed to be reaching for the floor there. So I'm there, and again, this is a hot yoga class, and I am sweating buckets, Tyler. I mean, I'm talking about my mat is covered in my sweat. I don't normally sweat that much, but this is made for that.
Sexy.
So I'm glad you said that, Tyler. Tell me what you think about this. So I'm there. In yoga, very often, people correct you. People give you corrections. Put your body where it's supposed to be. He comes up behind me. Normally in that spot, you put your palms like on their sacrum and you push down. What do you think happened here, Tyler? I'm really, you're looking into me. What do you think happened here?
Well, I'm guessing something came out of some end. You either peed your pants or you pooped your pants.
He sat on my back.
Yeah?
He sat on my back.
Wow, was he a small man?
He wasn't a big man, but he sat like where your hands would normally go.
Okay.
He's wearing these little shorty shorts.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I'm feeling everything.
I'm feeling a little envious.
I'm feeling. Oh, I think you would like this guy.
Yeah.
He didn't even have armpit hair, Tyler.
Oh.
Yeah. He was like a young Philip. Well, I'll be quiet.
Yeah.
So again, very sweaty, Tyler. Lots of juices being transferred here.
Yeah.
And while sitting on my back, which then does give me pressure to go down even lower.
I bet.
You're making this oddly erotic, Tyler. I'm giving you
nothing odd about it, Ryan.
You're making this normally erotic. He then begins to start rubbing my back. Hands where I could see him. Hands where I could see him, Tyler. What's your take on that alone?
I any of the yoga classes I've done, there's always been some degree of contact with the teacher on the student. So they'll come up behind you and they'll push you.
Absolutely.
And whatnot. I've never seen a yoga teacher sit on somebody
You never
before.
had a helpful pair of testicles?
No.
Okay.
No, they sound fantastic though.
They were not, I mean, I assume I haven't really, they say like when you're blind over time, your other senses go up. I haven't had enough time to really whittle that down. But upon first inspection, it seemed to be a pretty healthy set of Bojangles.
Practice makes perfect.
There you go. So he's rubbing on my back. He's massaging. And here's the thing. When you're in yoga, you really want to relax. Okay. I'm not sure that I was totally relaxed there.
Shocker.
I don't think. Thankfully, no.
Yeah. You had somebody's butthole on you. I mean, that's a very anxiety-inducing situation.
When we got up, there was a noise. There was a noise that was discernible. So again, what's your take on that? That's good? We're fine? Everything's good?
I mean, as long as you're comfortable with it, then yeah, it's fine.
I will give you my opinion at the end. Then, at the very end, I hope this is an enjoyable story because I am extremely uncomfortable. At the very end, you do like a back bend to balance out everything that you've done, where you're on your back, your feet are on the floor right under your butt, and you push your hips up. So you're getting a back bend, basically. It's called a bridge pose, okay? He comes over to me to help me out. So he straddles me. He is now looking.
Hold on. Let me just start rubbing
Please
the
stop,
nips.
Tyler. Don't rub your nipples. It's making me uncomfortable. And I've
everything makes you uncomfortable,
I've had a
Ryan.
bit of a day.
Everything makes you uncomfortable.
Bit of a day. So he is now above me as my hips are plunging upwards, and he is looking directly down into my eyes, and he is
Romantic.
it's the noises you're making, I think, that are bothering me the most. He then takes off his hat, his Lawrence of Arabia hat. He takes off his hat, okay? Loops it under my back, wraps it around his hands, and pulls me up by the hips, okay? Now, that is a pretty standard... that I've seen before. That's a standard correction. Thank you. So he's pulling me up again. This is at the end of class, so I am sweating so much. It is getting all over his head hat scarf. It's everywhere, but hey, it's all good. You're committed to the craft. Yep.
Yeah.
Puts me down. Successful bridge. Puts that hat right back on his fucking head. He puts it back on his head, Tyler.
You put it back on.
You did. You did.
That's rough.
So where are we now?
Well, when you got to cool off, you get a water source from anywhere, you know? Like you don't, beggars can't be choosers, Ryan.
Oh, my little oasis. Thank you so much, my little oasis.
That's rough.
And so I went along with it.
Yeah, what else are you going to do? Snatch it off his head?
Please stop. I thought you said I could keep this. And that was my experience, and I'll wrap it up with this. I talked to him after. The class was incredible. Like I said,
Sounds like it.
Like a rock star. This guy had such control of the audience. The way that a great rock star can make a whole arena bounce up and down at the same time just by expressing their energy. This guy had us all moving together like a flock of birds. And at the very end, he told me that I had a beautiful practice, which I'm self-conscious about. And I think he was trying to bang me.
Yep.
I loved it.
By practice, he means penis.
I love. Do you think in the gay community that is like a code word? Man, I would love to suck your practice. So that was my.
We could probably make that a thing.
That was my experience. I thought that maybe everybody nice chuckle at my discomfort. And Felipe, heavy on the lip. I salute you. It was a great class.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Now I'm a teen mom, Tyler.
Every aspect of it sounds fantastic.
That's a funny story, yeah?
It is a funny story. I enjoy it. I think, as I said, it depends on what you're most comfortable with. Yeah, that's it.
And you put that hat right back on, Tyler.
That is what disturbs me the most.
Listen, have you ever been with somebody and their sweat attracts you?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I didn't fuck him though, Tyler.
Not yet.
Let's give a review for something that's not usually done weekly, for something that's not usually a book. This is the Weekly Book Nook. I just said it's not a book. Tyler, what are you reviewing on this week's Weekly Book Nook? I did not have relations with that man.
Yeah, the fact that you keep bringing it up.
He was barely even sexy.
Yeah, barely.
But
then he was covered in your sweat, which means if it was your aroma, there's nothing that turns you on more than you.
Big old swollen practice. Sitting on my back. Sorry about that.
All right. So Weekly Book Nook it is.
Yes, please.
I'll actually just continue on from what I had mentioned in the Depression Index, which is the Surrender Experiment. Michael A. Singer. It's basically an autobiography, but instead of telling you about his entire life, it's the autobiography of his spiritual life, of how he got into spirituality, how he started looking inward and all that kind of stuff. And actually, he said that it started in college when he was sitting in on the couch talking to his roommate. Things got quiet and that voice came into his head. And it's like, oh, this is an awkward silence. Go ahead, say something to fill the space. And he remembers just sitting there and going, what is that? Why is this voice saying that? Why is this silence awkward? And it took off from there. And
Did you ever have a moment like that in your life where you recognized that there's a voice in your head?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought that voice was me. Like that was the only voice that I had listened to.
Which one?
And then it was only the one, but it was saying just all the terrible things.
You are not your thoughts. It's a powerful thing that a lot of people don't know.
For sure.
You're the person who's experiencing them.
And then I meditated for the first time, and I don't know if you remember this.
Weirdo.
But I meditated for the first time, and I was so pent up that what came out of me was I was bawling. Sure. I don't know if you remember, but I called you. I had meditated and I just started bawling. I mean, I was crying And I remember you picked up the phone and I'm like, this is it. This is it. This is what I've been looking for.
Oh, I think I do remember that.
And I literally could not stop the tears even after finishing meditating.
That's beautiful.
I was in the shower just like I was like, as I'm like scrubbing myself down. It was crazy.
That would be a great, what do they call that in movies where they just show cut up scenes of somebody?
The montage?
That would be such a great montage of you just going throughout your day crying in different places. I could definitely see the shower scene.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a fantastic book. It's a little dry at the end because he just talks about his business that he runs. And
I recall that.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, let's get through this, buddy.
And you get to know the man behind the Untethered Soul, which is the opposite of that. It's almost like a handbook for your mind. So
like a guide.
They're very different. Yep.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it for anybody who's looking into that, how to let go of things in their life.
Yep, you said it.
Yeah. I done did it.
Now, would you suggest that people start with that or with the Untethered Soul?
No, I'd suggest starting with Untethered Soul.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And if that grabs you by the huevos, then move forward. Because like you said, that could be a little bit drier, that one. The Untethered Soul, if you're in the right mindset for it, will grab you and not let go.
Definitely. What about you, Ryan?
Get it up. Wait.
No.
I mentioned it either last week or the week before. And this video game deserves my actual genuine calling it out because it's something that has been part of my life for so long. Tyler, are you familiar with those fucking nerds over at Warcraft or whatever?
You mean Blizzard?
That's right.
Yeah.
Those fucking nerds, okay?
Okay, yeah. I mean, it is a video game company, so that's
nerds,
fair.
Tyler. But it's okay. Yes, people who play video games are nerds, but Warcraft.
You play video games.
Nerds, Tyler.
Okay, that's fair.
But people who play Warcraft are nerdier nerds than nerds.
You mean World of Warcraft?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played that for years.
It looks kind of awesome. I got to be
it
honest.
was a
But
lot
I'm
of
not
fun.
looking to take on new drugs, so I haven't gotten into it.
Smart.
Hearthstone, made by Blizzard in kind of that same universe of World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
It is a card-based game, not unlike Magic cards, not unlike Pokemon cards, it's digital, of course. And for my brain process, for my enjoyment with video games, it has more playability than I think any video game I've ever played before for whatever. What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, it's because they're always updating it. They're always coming out with new stuff. I love the single player aspect of it.
So creative.
It is something that can really draw you in.
And the animation of these characters that they come up with and all the different strategies that you can put together to make your deck as lethal as possible for my particular taste, for my problem-solving skills. It is something I truly love. Hearthstone, I give you 5 out of 5 dings. Have we ever done that before?
No, you have not.
I like that.
You just came up with a new rating system.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I give that rating system 5 out of 5 dings.
You just like slapping the bell.
Let's take a break.